Happy Friday, degenerates, and welcome back to the Sharp Action Report. I am joined by my guy Andrew from Superbook Sports, and we are breaking down all the sharp and notable action for you here on UFC Nutja, UFC 306. Do us a favor, hit the like button if you haven't already. Thank you very much for being here, and huge shout out to my guy Andrew for still giving us his time and giving us all the information that we can use to try to make some extra money here tomorrow. Andrew, my man, how you doing?
Man, dude, I'm super excited for this card. It's right down the road from us, obviously, in the Sphere. So I'm just excited to see what the UFC kind of comes up with for this event. You know, they said this is a one-time thing, so I'm expecting, greatness.
Andrew, hold the phone. Hold the phone. Dix Insider in the chat says it's your birthday?
No, my birthday's in February.
Oh, Dixon, you got me. What are you doing? I thought you were saying it was my guy's birthday. All right, he got me. He got me. So, Andrew, my man, we're gonna go through all these cards. If it's your first time watching the show, you guys, I do apologize, Black DM3, for the echo issue. Andrew's kind of working with what he's got over there for us, so I apologize for that. But we're just gonna have to deal with it and power our way through it this time. This is less of a breakdown show, and it's more of an informational show. Andrew's kind enough to give us the reads from across the desk. If there's been any notable action or anything like that, we will get to hear it from him. He's going to share what the book needs and those kinds of things with us. So big time helpful information if you're looking to make bets on UFC 306. First fight of the night, Raul Rosas Jr., the biggest favorite on the board. He's up over 10-1 now, taking on Arichi Lang. Squash match if I have ever seen one. But as far as the betting goes, Andrew, what are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of hate to start the card off with this fight because it's kind of just one of those fights that has been juiced up as the week has gone on. We opened this thing at $6. Like you said, it's currently sitting $10 on a Rosa. We have seen, obviously, with this card being in Vegas and stuff, a ton of parlays this week. So, it's just trying to get ahead on some of these big favorites. Rosa being the biggest on the card, like you mentioned. I would say this is a huge discrepancy in the amount of tickets on Rosa versus the dog here. So we're doing our best to just try to get ahead of it. I'm not counting that this is going to be a parlay buster, but, yeah, there's not really too much to report on this fight. I kind of wish they gave Rosa a tougher opponent because, I mean, he's such a fun fighter, and I know he's big for the sport. So, but mostly just parlay action on this fight so far.
Makes sense to me, man. And I get what you're saying. I absolutely get what you're saying. It does seem like the UFC is putting him in a spot to really kick off the show, really get a notable win, get a big dub started for the Mexican fighters. And so I understand wanting to just kind of protect yourself against that kind of liability.
Yeah.
All right, next fight of the night, we have got Edgar Chyz, and he's taking on Joshua Van, a fight that's got me scratching my head, man. I've been ride or die with Josh Van since he made it to the UFC, and that's been something that has worked out pretty well up until his last fight. He's making a short notice turnaround, filling in here to save this fight, but he's taking on a much larger framed opponent than he is. I am super interested in this fight. I am tempted to play Josh Van. I hate the price tag after him coming off a KO loss and a short notice turnaround, but I do lean to that side. What are you guys seeing there as far as action goes?
Yeah, it seems like most of the public is agreeing with you right now. This is another one I really don't have too much to report, but we got a lot coming, so don't worry. Van opened at 220 and it's sitting 240. There's been some sprinkles on Van. There's been a lot more bets on Van handle or ticket count wise, but nothing too wild. We need Chyz as of now, but we're trying to, stay a little bit ahead of market on Van because the guys in the back, we all like Van, and we don't want to get too crushed on the favorite early. So yeah, most of the bets have been on Van, but nothing too crazy for these first couple fights.
Okay. Makes sense to me. And like Andrew said, everybody hang in there. He'll share the information when he's got it, right? We're not trying to make anything up for you just for clicks or anything like that. So Van seems to be the popular side. Nobody is dissuaded by his recent KO loss. Yasmin Jauregui takes on Ketlin Souza in the next fight. Big favorite for women's MMA, but damn, Andrew, it just smells like another squash to me. I hate to be on the public parlay side, but you can't doubt him, man. In 2024, that's the move. It's been all chalk all day, all year. So what are you seeing on this fight?
Yeah, no kidding. This is another one similar to Rosa, not as crazy as that one, but we opened Yasmin at 380. It's currently sitting 550 here. This is another one. If you just look at the ticket count, a majority of the tickets are in that parlay column. So this is just another leg that it looks like is going to be pretty popular to throw in all the parlays. And I mean, I think Souza's tough. I don't think she is. I know she's a 4-1 plus 425 dog, but I'm hoping that she can put up a fight. And I mean, the book would honestly love to have this one. I'm not counting on it, but yeah, these first three fights, not too much to report. Sorry about that.
It's to be expected when you've got favorites this size, man. We know the story. A lot of parlays with these types of favorites coming in here. MMA clips asking, what about the post weigh-in show? Be patient, my friend. So the ceremonial face-offs, guys, are going to be held at like 10 p.m. Eastern time or something like that tonight. They are super late this evening, and I will go live for the undefeated post weigh-in show, but it's going to be tonight. So keep tuned. I will post up a link when it's time. I got some family stuff going on, unfortunately, so it's not going to be like the right after weigh-ins are over, I'm going to go live for you guys, but it's going to be a night show tonight. So not the usual afternoon, just because that's the way the time syncs up as far as where the ceremonial weigh-ins and stuff like that are going to be. It's going to be this evening. Next fight up, Manuel Torres takes on Ignacio Bahamondes, a fight that I am having such a hard time with, Andrew. I keep bouncing back and forth. First glance, I'm team Bahamondes. I kind of dig in a little bit and I'm like, man, I can kind of see the angle here. I think I'm going to say Torres. And the closer we get to fight time, I just keep thinking, my man's training with Bilal. It's got to be Bahamondes. And I'm flip-flopping all over the place. Can't make up my mind. I need your help. Talk to me. Where's the sharp action? What's happening over there?
Hey, I mean, if you're liking that Bahamondes side, the price is looking a little bit more juicy for you now. We opened up Bahamondes at 145 favorite. He's currently sitting plus 105 now. So a majority of the money, and I won't say too respected action here, but a majority of the money has been on Manuel Torres. And you can kind of see the price reflecting that. We're sitting minus 125 on Torres now. So it's a pretty big move through the other guy being the favorite, and now you're seeing plus money on Bahamondes. So I'm kind of with you. If you're going to bet this one, I mean, I feel like you kind of got to trust the books a little bit. And I mean, usually they're not too, I mean, they're wrong sometimes, but that's a big move through a favorite. And yeah, currently we need Bahamondes. And like I said, a majority of the money has come in pretty hot on Manuel Torres this week.
And so just in case, I want to double check. I'm hearing you right here. You guys opened Bahamondes as the favorite here?
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very interesting piece of information there, you guys. Bahamondes opens a favorite. We have flipped. It's one-way traffic on Manuel Torres, which is a little bit surprising to me. All right. Next up, Irina Aldana takes on Norma Dumont. Another fight very similar to the last one, man. I'm having a hard time with it because I have absolutely been team fade Norma Dumont for the whole time she's been in the UFC. Her last couple fights, though, she's shown improved fight IQ. She's really made some good in-fight decisions, and that was the biggest thing that I had knocking on her. She's taken on Irina Aldana. I know it's the Mexico card, but she's a little bit older. She's struggled with grapplers in the past. I've, again, been able to make arguments for both fighters, and we have a pick 'em price tag here. Is there any type of action that we need to know about?
Yeah, this is another interesting one. We opened up Dumont at minus 125. We're currently sitting a pick on this fight. This is kind of one where I have more of an opinion on. It is a pick, so I'm not going crazy or anything. But I like Aldana here. So we've kind of put ourselves in a spot where we'd like to win a little bit on Aldana. A majority of the money has been on Dumont, but it's not like super respected money. It's kind of just that we were trying to write some action that way. We're not going crazy with it. We're also trying to see if there's a respected bet on Dumont. I'm not stubborn enough to say we need to win on Aldana. But there hasn't been that yet. And if that doesn't come, I'd like to win on Aldana. So currently sitting, we need Aldana, not huge, but pretty big. And that's what we're looking to need going into tomorrow.
Okay, books are looking to need Aldana, and she is a slight favorite in this spot. Another really interesting note for you guys. Get a notepad, take notes, and thank you guys. I see the love in the chat here. Best MMA show on YouTube. Troy saying love this show. Appreciate you guys all for being here and watching us and tuning in and supporting. Next up, we've got Ronaldo Rodriguez, and he's taking on O'Day Osborne. I got Ronaldo Rodriguez. I got him a little early. It seems like things have moved a bit since that press conference. He's a bit of a bigger favorite now. They kind of stole the whole dang show with that back and forth that they had. I am just team fade O'Day Osborne. It's a bummer. I like the guy. I'm a fan. He's a good dude. But I don't think he's being invited here to upset the apple cart at UFC Noche, Andrew. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Mexican on this one. Happy to beat the line move, but starting to be a little worried I might be a bit public on this one. Talk to me, man.
No, I'm kind of with you. It's that's exactly how I personally feel about this fight. So this is a kind of a fun one the way we've booked it, because I'm kind of surprised on how it moved. So early on, we opened this thing minus 170 on Rodriguez. Early on, we were getting some bets on O'Day Osborne, and one of our more respected bettors, not in UFC, but a respected bettor at the book in general, came in and bet O'Day Osborne for a pretty large amount. And you can see we got as low as minus 125 on Rodriguez. At that point, we started getting more of that Rodriguez money, and we did take a larger respected bet on Rodriguez. And ever since then, I've kind of been with you. I'm like, I just don't think this is the spot the UFC is trying to push O'Day Osborne. So we've kind of stuck our feet in, and you can kind of see we're sitting minus 65 on Rodriguez, and a lot of the market is like minus 150-ish. So we're doing our best to write some O'Day Osborne money. We want to win on Rodriguez. You know that parlay money is going to come in on Rodriguez. So, we're just trying to get out ahead and be in a great spot coming into tomorrow. We all like Rodriguez, and we're just trying to get there before tomorrow. So yeah,
love it. I love it. I'm glad that you and I are on the same side there on that one, man. Definitely hoping to be on the right side on that one. And yeah, It Factor MMA says dozens of sharps on O'Day, and I agree, man. Like all the people whose opinions I respect, they are all saying O'Day, and I usually like to side with the sharps, especially the people I know and respect. I am hoping that the squares are on the right side because I'm one of you on this one. Let's go, Rodriguez. Next up, we've got Daniel Zel Huber, and he takes on Esteban Rivix. Another fight that's got a decent bit of movement. We've Daniel Zel Huber, who's sitting at minus 230-ish right about now. He was a bigger favorite on Monday when I broke this fight down. Man, talk to me about this one, because I actually was very interested in Esteban Rivix as an underdog. Obviously, the lower the price gets, the less juicy it is, the less I'm interested. It's a tough matchup between a guy that likes to car crash and a guy that likes to play technical. I feel like the big cage helps the technical guy, so I'm kind of hesitating here. Andrew, what do you see on this one? Anything to push me one way or the other?
Yeah, this is another one, man, where like you can kind of see the line has fluctuated, like you said. We opened this one at 175 on Zel Huber, so it kind of opened lower than it was. It shot up as high as 280, like you said, and it was a little bit higher. We did get some respected bets early on Zel Huber, so we've done our best to need that side. I'm kind of with you, though. I don't think this is like a gimme. I think Rivix is really tough. But we know, like, with this $2 favorite line, that's a line that gets thrown into a lot of these parlays. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a leg that got blown up. The most respected bet we have on this fight, though, actually happens to be on the total. We took a couple respected bets on the over. So maybe it will be a competitive fight that goes the distance, but that's what our customers are liking here.
Very interesting. So we have a respected bet, not on the side, but on the over, guys. Over 2.5 also sits about minus 230 in most places at this point. And the way I looked at the fight, man, is I kind of predicted Zel Huber by decision. I think he's going to be able to use that control game and stay on the outside. Rivix, I'm not sure you can finish the guy. So I think Daniel Zel Huber is going to have to kind of fight the perfect fight, mind his P's and Q's, and grind out a win in this spot. So I kind of like that because I could see Rivix ending this fight with a finish. So my lean there kind of syncing up with the action there you've received on the over. We're getting to the real meat and potatoes here, guys. Do us a favor, hit the like button, please, if you would. Brian Ortega, T-City, comes in here taking on Diego Lopez. And this number, again, has just blown out, guys. I talked about on my Monday podcast, the first time this fight was booked, you've got Diego Lopez as a plus 105 underdog. So then he gets flipped over to the favorite before fight time. Fight falls apart. We rebook a couple months later, and he's sitting up almost at minus 200 at this point. It's just all Diego Lopez all the time, and I totally get it. But Andrew, I'm terrified of shortchanging a guy like Brian T-City Ortega. I also am picking the very public Diego Lopez because why wouldn't you after everything this guy has done? But the bigger this number gets, the more I'm like, damn, dude, T-City is just not the guy you want to disrespect in this game. What are you guys seeing across the table?
Man, this is probably out of the whole card. I'll say this is one that I'm really looking forward to, and booking it has been so fun. So the first time, I don't know if you guys remember, we spoke about this fight. The big guy actually did come in and bet on Ortega. And like you said, the price was much closer the first time around. So this time we opened it up at 65 on Lopez. It's currently sitting 170 on Lopez. And me and John were talking about it last night. My boss, who's super into the UFC, is like, I just think it's so weird that the big guy hasn't come in and bet on this because the price is much more inviting. And then this morning he did come in and bet on Ortega. So we do have some respected money on Ortega this week, which is a good thing. We're hoping we can get this leg. It hasn't stopped that Lopez money. Lopez is that public side this week, and it seems like if you just look at the discrepancy in the ticket count, it's insane. There's a lot of customers who like Lopez this week, and I understand it. He's been on a tear, but Ortega's looking pretty enticing at the price, and there's most of the sharp action has been on Ortega. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for Ortega here.
Okay. It is another Sharps versus Squares, ladies and gentlemen. And let me double check again, Andrew. Did you say the big guy?
Yeah, we actually it's the big guy, and we did take another guy who's pretty respected in the UFC, came in bet Ortega at 50, and the big guy bet him at plus 160. So we have two pretty respected bettors on Ortega this week. So we're riding with Ortega.
Oh, my Lord. Okay, guys, you heard it here. We've got big guy action at UFC 306. And question for AMD in the chat, the big guy only bets on dogs. Typically, we've seen a couple of favorites. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew. I think he actually bet Jake Paul as a massive favorite at one point. So, like, he does lay the chalk in certain specific situations, but it is kind of interesting. The big guy, much like myself, it's easier to find the value on the underdogs. This is a perfect example. You've got a guy who opened favorite. The public has flooded in and made him a minus 200 favorite after the line flipped. So Ortega should have been the favorite all along. He's willing to take the stab on him at plus money because the line is just wrong. It's easier sometimes to pinpoint that value as an underdog. So that is typically what we see from him. Am I wrong on that, Andrew? Or do you recall any notable favorite spots that he's come in on?
Sometimes with the totals, he'll do more of the favorite stuff, but with the money lines, he's usually pretty strictly dogs. And he'll lose a lot of them too, but over time, it pays off. And, you know, he's our most successful bettor over the last 10 years, and it's, majority of the dogs for sure. I also want to state with this fight, We
Yep.
don't have
Yep.
to
I
go.
subscribe.
Oh, sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, we're on a little bit of a delay. You're good. Go for it.
I was just saying that this is a fight. I don't want to like say we've gone too crazy trying to book to meet or have Lopez money flowing through the window because it's been so easy to write that money. Like if we need to tomorrow, we can get a boatload of Lopez money. So it's not like we've situated ourselves to just be dug in on Ortega yet. But having that respected money there, we know at the end of the day that's the side we want to win on. But you don't need to force that favorite money in because we know it's coming. So you won't see too much of a difference in the price because that we're not stopping the favorite money. Even if the respected money is there, we can't put ourselves in a situation where we're needing a dog for six figures, you know? So yeah, I just wanted to state that as well. It's not like too crazy as of yet.
Okay. And that makes perfect sense. Remember, guys, with the books, it's not us versus them. They're trying to balance out the book more often than not. So they're trying to, every once in a while, they'll pick a side, right? Every once in a while, they'll invite that action. But like he was talking about, they got to make sure it's balanced. They can't be overexposed on one side or the other, even if they like a specific side. So that makes perfect sense. And love my guy, Anthony, in the chat. Plot twist. Clint is the big guy. All right, guys. Co-main event of the evening. Alexa Grasso takes on Valentina Shevchenko. This line has hovered right around pick'ems the whole time. You've got Grasso as a slight favorite, and because of the youth, because like I talked about, guys, every time they move this fight out, Valentina's just getting older and older and more fragile and more fragile. I agree with it. I do think that eventually we are going to see Alexa Grasso win this trilogy and keep her belt. I think that's why they put this fight together on Noche yet again, instead of giving Valentina a non-Mexican Independence Day card to go ahead and try and win the trilogy match. I think it's pretty well set up that way. Now, Grasso's still got to get in there and do the damn thing, but I am on the Grasso side, Andrew. What are you seeing on this one?
Yeah, we're looking to need that side as well. We opened this thing back in July. Same with the Sean O'Malley fight. We opened it at minus 15 on Grasso, and we've kind of tried to stay ahead of the market by like a little bit and need the Grasso side because, like you said, we like Shevchenko too, but she's getting older, and we just think this is the time for Grasso. So as of now, we do need Grasso. But this morning we did get a pretty large wager from a big winning better on Shevchenko at plus 130. I'm not going to say it's a guy who's a UFC specialist, but he thought plus 130 is too much on Shevchenko, so he laid a pretty big bet on that. So there's some money on the dog as well, which in the end of the day won't be a bad thing because that would bust a lot of the parlays that we're going to end up having on Grasso. So yeah, we want to need Grasso tomorrow, but there is some respected bets on Shevchenko as well.
So wild to me, man. We're talking about parlay exposure here on a minus 130 favorite. Like, I get it when we're talking about the minus 170s and minus 180s. But man, if the parlay buster is the measly little plus 110, I can't imagine going home sad because you threw the pick'em in your massive parlay for the weekend. Fun stuff. All right, guys. They are looking to need Grasso. Seems like that's going to be an okay situation to be in with all the money coming in on Shevchenko as a dog. Sean O'Malley takes on Dvalishvili in your main event. Yet another very close, very combative pick'em style line. You guys know all about where I'm at. Let's hear Andrew talk about where the money's at this weekend.
Yeah, I just wanted to say as well, like, we're right down the street from the Sphere, so you're going to get some public players coming in and wanting to just go through the big names on the card and throw them in parlays. So, like, O'Malley, even though it's a close line, he's going to be in every parlay, even with, like, the NFL games this week. It's just kind of how it is, you know? But this is a super fun fight. I'm really obviously looking forward to this one. This is another one we opened up in July, and I guess I'll take some of the blame. I guess I was completely wrong on this price. I know out there in some places this thing opened up at $2 on Merab. We opened up minus 160 on Merab. Clearly, everyone knows that's not the price anymore. We're sitting minus 140 on O'Malley right now. It's been as high as minus 150. We have got a couple of respected bets on Merab, but that's not stopping anything because this money on Sean O'Malley this week is insane. So this is like this is like Ronda Rousey type level, like Connor type of level. This O'Malley money, I haven't really seen anything like this since I've been working here. So it's cool to see. It's kind of humbling that feel like I was so wrong on this price and I didn't anticipate how much money would be coming in on O'Malley. And I'll also add this: John and his group of friends who are really into the UFC do like the O'Malley side. So we've kind of been a little bit more aggressive as of late to try to write some Merab money early. And you can see if you keep an eye on all the lines, we're a little bit more out there on O'Malley. You're going to have to lay a little bit more juice if you want to bet O'Malley. Yeah, so we're looking to need O'Malley. That is not who we're going to need, but we have a couple of huge wagers on O'Malley this week.
Makes sense to me. Okay. And yeah, so the real Dark Knight in the chat saying that Sean is minus 125 right now. Andrew's saying that they have moved that number up over there. They're making you pay the extra juice because the flow of Sean O'Malley money is just out of control. And I totally understand that. Andrew, question for you, though. I know you're on Twitter. You're not the most active person on Twitter, but you're on there. Do you have any idea who Trent is?
Yeah. I've seen some of his stuff. I don't know how successful he is, but I know he makes light of himself when he loses for sure.
Do you have any opinion of him betting Sean O'Malley? He's on Sean O'Malley for UFC 306. He made it official this morning.
Well, here's the thing. I clearly think Merab is the side. I opened this thing at minus 160 on Merab. I think he has more paths to victory, but I respect the hell out of John and his guys, and I understand that Sean can knock out anybody, and Merab has kind of been hit by a lot of guys, and I don't know if any of them hit as hard as O'Malley, so I understand it. But I'm thinking Merab wins. I really am.
You and me both, my brother. You and me both. So if you guys, you're not up on this whole thing here, Andrew and I, we're pretty regular in contact. John is Andrew's boss. It's rare that the two of them have a disagreement, but John does like the Sean O'Malley side. Andrew and I both agreed here on the Merab side of things, but we'll just end up seeing what happens because this is one of those spots where sharp and public line up on the same side more often than not. Everybody loves them some Sean O'Malley, but need I remind you guys that line is still very, very suspiciously close to pick them considering how much money is being scooped up by these books on the Sugar Sean O'Malley side. It's machine season, baby. That's the Sharp Action Report. Andrew, my friend, do you have anything you want to shout out? Let the people know where they can come support you, or if they want to come lay down a bet at the Superbook in Las Vegas. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, the last, I think for the Izzy fight, we went more fair splits on the main event. I think we're planning on doing that for a couple of these fights on this card, day of the fights. So if you guys are looking to bet in Vegas, you're going to get a fair bet over here at the Superbook. I know we're only in Vegas now, but yeah, especially if you're trying to bet that Merab side, I would say you're not going to get a better number than over here. And yeah, man, I really appreciate you for having me on, and I can't wait to see the spectacle tomorrow.
Hell yeah, man. I am looking forward to it. And I've got Jason in the chat saying that I am the Trent of the MMA community. I got to tell you, Jason, if I were the Trent of MMA, you guys would not hear the end of it, because if I go full on fade God, I would be a whole hell of a lot bigger than I am. I'm much, much better than Trent. I promise you that. I'm having a down 2024, but we still have time to change that around. Don't you sweat it. Keep on coming, baby. Keep on fading. Let's see how that goes for you long term. All right, guys. That was the Sharp Sharp Action Report with my guy Andrew from Superbook Sports. Again, make sure you guys support him. Hit him up on Twitter. He does post some stuff out, splits. He likes to post on the day of the fights, where the biggest moves and things like that have been. So he's a great follow for some great information when you guys need some info online. I am going to be doing the Undefeated post weigh-in show this evening, guys. Like I mentioned, we have got ceremonial weigh-ins for UFC 306. They're going to be late tonight, so it's going to be a late live stream. I will get the link up for you guys. Make sure you check me out on social media if you want to join me for the Undefeated post weigh-in show. I will put that information up as soon as I've got it, but expect a nighttime show. Maybe we break out the fireball. Who knows what happens? We can get crazy going on this evening here. But thank you guys again for supporting us, and I will see you soon for that stream. Let's freaking roll.